As entrepreneurs, we know vacations are essential, but how do we actually step away without the stress of what's waiting for us when we get back? In today's episode, I sit down with Molly Madigan Pisula of Bean Cuisine, and we have the best conversation about how to plan vacation time as a food blogger. From preparing your business before you leave to deciding whether to fully unplug or keep a light hand on the wheel to creating a really smooth reentry when you return, Molly shares her best strategies and mindset shifts. If you have ever dreaded coming back from time off, I have been there so many times. This conversation will help you finally enjoy vacations totally guilt-free while keeping your business thriving. All right, calming my anxiety now. Let's talk about something on the other end of the spectrum, planning vacation time as a blogger. You and I both went through this summer, and we were kind of talking like, how are you doing it? Am I going to be sane and alive on the other end? Let's compare notes because we want our business to not explode and all these questions all of us have. But to frame it, talk a little bit about your blog. Just give us a little bit of scoop on that.
Sure. So I'm Bean Cuisine, and I do seasonal recipes with a French twist. So my background, my formal cooking training is in French pastry. So I have some of those recipes on my site, but I also just really love the French mindset of cooking seasonally with whatever produce is available at that time, and really trying to let that lead your cooking more than anything else. So that's I have those recipes on my site. So no matter what time of year it is, if you're looking for something to a recipe to use, something you can find at the farmer's market or something that's available that time of year, then that's what I'm there for.
And you're also on YouTube. I love your YouTube videos. So check
Thank
Molly
you.
out over there too.
Yeah. Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok. I started
All the
small
places.
TikTok, all the places, but
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for that. And then, as I mentioned, you had reached out and you're like, okay, this vacation thing, I went through the same thing. It feels stressful. And first of all,
Yeah.
as food bloggers, we need vacations because we don't have an employer telling us you need to take this time off. We need to prioritize taking vacation. We all know that, but then it gets stressful when it comes because a lot of it falls on our shoulders, right? So like, how do
Yeah.
you prep for it? How do you get through it? So I guess we can start
Yeah.
with, like, what are your thoughts on people taking vacation and just prioritizing it in the first place? How important is it?
Yes. Yeah, that for sure. That is so important. I mean, you're right. We do have, it's not like we have a boss telling us that we should take vacation or a company saying you've got 8 vacation days and you need to use them. But I think that it's just so good for you to get a refresh that does not just get away from your desk, get away from the computer and being constantly on all the time. I don't know. I just feel like we get in ruts of just doing the same things over and over again. And it really benefits your life to take a break from that. So I am 100% vacation person. And, it's interesting because in our previous talk, we were talking about how I moved to France for 2 years with my family.
Yeah.
And, so my husband, who was working at the time, he was still working for Apple because that's where we met. But he was there and he switched to like working from the Paris team's office. And that meant that he got moved to like the French everything, the French employment system. And so when we got there, like, Apple had a fairly generous vacation package in the US, but in France, it's like 6 weeks minimum vacation for the year, plus all of these like days off that the French take for various holidays and not holidays. And so he had so much vacation, and it was just the norm there that people took it. people would take a month off in the summer. People were, and this was something that like neither of us were used to after coming from a corporate world in the US where it's like, oh, yeah, maybe you get 3 weeks if you're really
Right.
lucky.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks is normal. So so we took that vacation like he had to um, for his job, and we took it and we traveled and we took time off. And after doing that for 2 years, I was like, oh, this is what we need to do in the
Yeah.
US. Like these people have it right.
Yeah.
Like that kind of time just really um, allows you to grow in all these different ways and have these experiences that then are helpful to you in your business and your life going forward. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Anyway,
many good things can come from that. I love that you got a little taste of it and that that's carried over. Like
yeah,
now you just know we need to continue doing
yeah,
this. I think also in your business, you can grow in ways that you cannot imagine if you give yourself that clarity, that just space for clarity. Like
right.
ideas came to me within the first few days of our vacation this year that I believe never would have come to me if I would have just been continuing with the grind, going through my
Mm-hmm.
days. It really can benefit your business and everything, your mindset, your health, your outlook on life, your relationships. There's so much I can't say enough about just prioritizing that. It's not a weakness, it's actually a strength.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And, I think when we started talking about this, um, I had what you have to do the vacation the right the right way or have the
Yeah.
right mindset going in and out of it. Because I think when we started talking about this, I had taken a week off in June and I came back to work and I just like, dove straight back into
Right.
it. And then I was like, a couple of days later, like, oh, I this is not good. Like I'm not feeling good about this at all.
Yeah.
And, that was really and that prompted me because you were saying you were going to take this vacation, and I knew I had more vacation coming up in August, and I was like, "Hey, I need to do this better
Yeah.
next time." The vacation itself was great. The work planning and the
Reentry.
mindset
Yes.
around it was not great.
Right.
So that makes a big difference.
Yes, thinking about it beforehand. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. And it's not just you. So many people reached out this summer and kind of said the same thing. Like, yeah, vacation's great, but the re-entry is horrid. It's
Yeah.
so stressful. And it also bleeds into your vacation because you're anticipating it. You know it's going to
Hmm.
be bad. So
Yeah.
you don't want to go back. And so it's kind of muddying the enjoyment that you should be feeling on vacation, which we don't
Yeah.
want. You should be
No.
clear and enjoying yourself and not thinking about work. So, what things did you do the second time around to prep in advance before you took the vacation?
I got much more intentional about planning in advance what things could I get done in advance of the vacation, and then planning what I was going to do immediately when I got back. So my strategy was kind of to buffer my vacation on like either side with extra time to plan and to like do that reentry. So for example, like when I went on vacation before, I was like, okay, I've got to have my social media posts done for that week that I'm going to be gone. I'm going to have my main recipe post up on my site. I'm going to have that ready to go. I'm going to do my newsletter for that week. I'm going to get that all done in advance. And that was great. That like, covered that week. But when I was thinking about it again, I was like, oh, it would be better for me to do more than just that week so that you can build in some kind of more easy entry time in at the end. So instead of thinking about it as like, okay, I'm going to do all these things for the week that I'm on vacation, I shifted it to say like, oh, I'm going to do all these things that I can do in advance for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to, so then you're coming back in with like a head start. Like you've already
Yes.
done some of the things that need to be done. Um, so yeah, so doing some of those things in advance, and you do have to like, I mean, that is work, and you do have to do extra work
Yeah.
before your vacation,
Right.
but it feels much more doable because it's like, I'm going to get this all done and then I'm going to be on vacation and it's going to be fantastic. And so there's a motivation level there that
Yes.
kind of get you through some of that extra work. um, the other thing that I did a little bit, but I didn't really do it until um, I started doing some research on this in the like course of our discussion about this. And one of the things I read about the what to do before you leave for vacation was um, clean your house and like
Ah,
declutter
yeah.
things and come back to a serene, there's nothing, all the junk on the countertops has been put away. You're not coming back to like a whirlwind of like when you were throwing things in suitcases and there was still like dishes out on the countertop,
Yeah.
and coming back to a clean space is really comforting. I was like, wow, that is great advice. Because yes, clutter makes me anxious.
Yes.
And so if you can kind of clear some of that stuff out of the way so that you come back and are like, oh, my house looks great. And I'm
Yeah.
not triggered by all of this junk that's
Right.
around somewhere, is a really nice way to
Little
enter.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah. A little gift to
I
your future self.
yeah, don't discount the way your house makes you feel. And then that
Yeah.
also goes for um just like little tasks you have on your to-do list that you've been ignoring, like doctor's appointments, things like that. Get those out of the way before vacation so that you don't come back and you're just slammed with a dirty house. You have to make
Yeah.
these appointments, school supplies, like
Mm-hmm.
think through things like that. That's something I didn't used to do. I used to come back to a messy home and just be like, this is crazy. I feel worse than I did before I left, which you don't
Right.
want. Yeah. What else did you find in your research? I'm curious.
Um, Another good one was have a plan for your meals for a couple of days after you get back, even if it's, so it could be like something that you froze and it's in the freezer and that you can have that when you get back, or even if it's just, okay, I'm gonna make tacos the night we get back, and then I'm gonna make spaghetti the next night, and anything you can grocery shop in advance so you have the groceries on hand. And if not, if you at least have a list, and so you're not having to like do the mental energy of like thinking, all right, we're just, we're all tired, we're back from this trip, what are we going to eat for dinner? I don't want to go to the store, I don't want to have to make my list, like any of that. If you can organize that in advance, like, oh, that's good advice. Because that
Yes.
is like, that's hard when you get back and it's like, oh, now I got to plan dinner on top of everything else. Like, I don't want to do
Right.
that.
Right. And
Yeah.
knowing during vacation, knowing that you made that list is easy on the brain because you're not like, because our brains, especially as moms and women, I think, we're constantly thinking through all those details. So when it comes up in your mind on vacation, like, oh, I have to think about dinner next week, you're like, nope, I already have it taken
Hmm.
care of. It's on the list. And
Yeah.
I would even say extend that to work stuff. This is something I did in June when we went on vacation. I knew that on vacation I would be thinking about, oh, I have to do this one little detail that I can't do now. I have to remember to do that. So I just wrote all of that stuff down in the same way that you're talking and just said, note for self for July 7th or whatever.
Mm.
Check in on the YouTube video that was published, blah, blah, blah. I had a few little things like that that I couldn't do beforehand, but I knew would occupy my mind.
Yeah.
So the notes to myself totally took that out of the equation. I did not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I did that I thought was really helpful is normally I use ClickUp as my organizational system, and I love it. I've got like a blog posts tab, and then I have like a weekly tasks and a monthly tasks tab. And so I kind of go between those, and they all have like tasks under, what I have to do for each new blog post. And then, the weekly one is like the social media and my newsletter and all those things. And I love that system. It's really good. And it will like, when you check off that you've done it for this week, then it like flips and like puts the date for next week, so that
Got it.
you're
Yep.
just constantly you're just constantly like refreshing the date, which is helpful until you go on vacation for a little while,
Yeah.
and then you get all of these like red
Yes,
red
right.
dates of like things that are late.
All the
um
reminders.
yeah, and so I decided that I was gonna just like turn that off while I was on vacation, and the like week before and after. And I was going to just use a list, like I didn't handwrite it, I typed it on my computer, but just like in my notes app, this week, what are the things that I need to get done? Because um I was trying to like ease into my vacation and ease out of my vacation. So I didn't want to do all of the things that I normally do in a normal week. And I just pared it down to like, okay, what are the 3 things that I want to get done the week before I am fully on vacation? And so I transferred those to just a different list, and that was really helpful, like, because I got real specific about like, this
Hmm.
is what I want to get done. And then I was just, checking them off as I went. And that really helped me, because it got me out of my like regular system and seeing like red dates and stuff. And it
Yeah.
just got me to, no, these are the things that I need to do, and only these things. And then when that
Yeah.
was clear, I was done. So
That's
that was a good
smart.
way to do it, I think. I'm going to
I
do
love
that
that
again.
you've
That was a good one.
I love that you thought through to that. Like, I know I'm going to be stressed by all the the little red flags. So let's eliminate that, because
Yeah.
that's something that we wouldn't necessarily think about unless you're giving this intentional thought.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, even if you don't use ClickUp, if there's something that's going to be constantly reminding you of those weekly things that you have to do and then you didn't do what you can to get rid of those, like Molly did.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And then you
good.
talked about batching. So yeah, you do have to
Yeah.
work and schedule ahead of time, but knowing that vacation is going to be more enjoyable and that your reentry is going to be easier, I think it just makes it. I don't mind doing that. Just
Yeah.
get it done. Just
Right.
and you do have to give it some intentional forethought. I would say at least give it a month, wouldn't you say, Molly, of time to get all the things
Yeah.
done you need to?
Yeah. Yeah. The more you can plan in advance, the
Yeah.
better. But I know you're a big batch person in general. Um, and I would like to be that, and I am not.
It's
I'm not a
okay. Not
successful
everybody
batch person.
is. Not a
I,
successful badger.
I don't, yeah, because I just can't get the motivation to do the things that I dislike doing, and
Yeah,
then doing
I
a
hear
bunch
you.
of them at once for
Yes.
like,
No, I know. It can
hours.
be painful.
It can be painful. But, I was in the process of trying to get ready for this. I was trying to, write multiple blog posts, in one day. I was trying to do social media for several weeks. And those are 2 things that I have a hard time with. I have a hard
Yeah.
time motivating to do them. And I have to say that once I had in my head, like, all right, you're writing 3 blog posts today. Like, no argument. This is what you're doing today.
Yep.
Like, I did get in like a little flow, and I was like, you know what? This actually is not that bad. Like, I can see how this is
Huh.
saving me time.
Yeah.
So, go
Wow. So
figure.
you're an evolving batcher.
I am. Yeah. And the social media too. I was like, cause I just like drag myself through like my week, of posts. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do those for this week. But it wasn't so bad. After I start, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add another week to that, and
Yeah.
let's just get this over with. And it was easier. I was like, oh
The
yeah,
mental prep is real
Megan
for
was right.
batching. I deal with that too. If I take the time to kind of give myself a little pep talk the day before there's a task that I don't want to do, because I have those too.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit down and crush them the next day. But if I don't take the time to pep talk myself, then it's the same thing. I'm like, well, I could probably do this tomorrow and put it
Yeah.
off again. But yeah, there's like some like pump up required
Mm-hmm.
to get
Yeah.
those things done. But then the momentum of it and the flow carries you, and you're like, yes, I did that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels
Yeah.
great when you
Yeah.
do it.
And then talk about delegating. So if somebody has a team um, before vacation, how do you recommend, like, I guess, communicating and then delegating tasks that maybe your team doesn't normally do, or your VA or whatever, so that you can set yourself up for success?
Yeah. Um, I I don't really have a team, but I do newly have some. I hired a Pinterest manager for the first time.
Nice.
I had a VA who was doing some Pinterest work for me, and then she had to quit, and so I ended up hiring somebody else. Um, and then I'm working with Ty actually on
Oh,
CEO.
nice.
I mean
Yeah.
CEO on SEO.
Well, kind of CEO too. Yeah.
It's kind of CEO. Yeah. And so both of those things require certain work from me. And the Pinterest one was pretty new, that I did this transition between the person who was doing it before and this new person, and it was right before I went on vacation, and I was like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
She doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's fantastic. Like, she absolutely knows what she's doing. And so I didn't do that transition as well as I hoped I would do in the future. I definitely learned some lessons about, like, oh, you have to actually tell people that you're going on
Yeah.
vacation if they're working for you,
Yeah.
or they're, working on something for you.
Yeah.
And so I did ultimately do that,
Yeah.
tell them that I just, I tried to get as much work done that they needed from me in advance, and then tell them, like, okay, I'm just not available this day. Like, I'm not getting on my computer. I'm not taking any
Yeah.
calls. Um, and so it was fine. Like, for my Pinterest person, we kind of, I did what I needed to do, and then she could kind of run with that while I was gone. Um, and with Ty, there was, I didn't do it far enough in advance, and there were some things that I needed to do that I was supposed to have done during my week, and I had to just say, like, you know what, I'm just gonna be late on this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it this week, and that was fine. And I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm paying for it. Like, this,
Right.
it's me. They're working for me.
Right.
So yeah, I think I should have done that a little bit better. And I will going forward, but it was kind of new to me to just have a team, or have people that were working
That
on
you have to
things
communicate
for
with. Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
I love
Slack,
that.
I went in
Yeah.
and, like, put on my vacation flag,
Oh,
because I
oh, that's a
also
good
am
idea.
pretty active in Slack, and I put on there, like, not
Out of
available.
office.
Um, and that was good too. Yeah.
That feels good. And that's just kind of a mental clutter thing too, right? Like,
Yeah.
not only are you communicating to other people, but you're also communicating to yourself. Out of office, I'm checked
Yeah.
out, which is so important. And
Yeah.
I want to point out what you said about your projects with Ty, and just being able to set that aside, because I think
Yeah.
that's okay too. You don't have to do absolutely everything that you normally planned. I have had so many times this summer where I'm like, well, I actually wanted to get this many blog posts out this week or month, but I don't have to, so I'm not going to because I'm
Yeah.
having a fun summer. And
Hmm.
it felt so liberating. It was like, oh, that's why I have this business, so I can make those decisions and just say no sometimes. And I think
Yeah.
that's an important piece of this too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too.
And then if you do have a team, I can kind of tell you what I did with mine.
Yeah.
So I have an assistant who's awesome, and I shared with her, I have never taken vacation like this before. I've never shut down in the way that I did in June. And I just made it really clear that it was a very important priority for me. And I just told her, don't contact me unless there's something flaming going on. I just, I knew I needed to take that time and protect it. And I used her too as someone to protect it for me. So
Mm.
she was checking my inbox, and we kind of came up with a system during that vacation that we've carried over now, which has been great. Where it's like she goes through my inbox because honestly, I was in there way too much. And then she gets rid of all the garbage. And then we have a filter set up so that she would put everything that I needed to read into that filter. So I went in after 1 week, Molly, expecting to find hundreds of emails or maybe even dozens
Yeah.
of emails. Um, guess how many emails were in there after a week in the important you need to read folder?
20.
One.
What?
There was one email
What?
that was important enough for
What?
me to read after a week. And both of us were blown away. She was like, Megan, this is so revealing. Most of the stuff that comes into your inbox is garbage. You do not need it. One email. So now
Wow.
I feel like I have a totally renewed sense of like what is urgent and what is like I don't need to be in my email. So since then, I haven't been at all. I
Oh,
trust her to
that's
go in
great.
once a day, and we still have the system. So she puts those, important emails over into that filter, and there's not much that pops up there. So I feel
Oh,
like that
that
in
is
itself
good.
has freed up my life this summer. I
Yeah.
just like some of those systems that come out of, um, you know, the need to be on vacation and take the time are really valuable. We
Hmm.
can talk about that in a bit. But then a few other things I did with my team, because I do have a community manager, I have a podcast producer who produces this podcast, and we communicate all the time. They need things from me, I need things from them. But I did as much work as I could beforehand, like you're saying, and then just clearly stated, is there anything you need from me? Because I'm taking this time off. And we settled that beforehand. So by the time I left, it was just like free, easy, clear thinking. I didn't have to worry about it, which was amazing. I've never truly
Yeah.
done that before.
That's
So,
great.
yeah, just communicating with people, just let them know you're out of office
Right.
and to respect that. And most likely they will. And, obviously having one point of contact is probably important just in case something is emergent. And that one person has your cell phone number and they can contact you. So that for me
Yeah.
was enough. Like if something goes up in flames, Kara can text me and we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, kicking my feet up and checking out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice way um, to feel more relaxed on vacation because it's not you sitting there checking to make sure there's not a disaster. You just know, hey, somebody's going to let me know if there's anything I need to worry about. And until then, I'm not going to worry. That's
Right.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. It felt so good. Um, let's see. I wanted to touch on like maybe you don't have a team, but maybe you're in like a mastermind group that meets regularly or a group of some sort or a Slack channel, like you mentioned. Also mention it there because people might be trying to like ask you a question about something they know you have expertise in or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're not responding. So just clearly communicating with everyone. I even communicated with my writer and photographer who I don't talk to super regularly, but I just didn't want them reaching out expecting an answer. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be on vacation for this time. If you need something, my assistant can help you. If she can't help you, I'll address it later. Let's just
Yeah.
take it off the table." So think through all of those people in your business and out of your business. So if you have like house cleaners coming, or if you have someone coming to treat your lawn or whatever, just who do you need to communicate with beforehand so that you don't have to think about it when you're supposed to be on vacation?
Yeah. Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I did try to do that on Slack with people that I, regularly communicate with, to just let them know, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
not going to be around.
I'm not
That's
available.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the worries I had was I've never done this before, just taken time off from my mastermind group. I always worry, oh my gosh, are people going to be mad? And like, I'm paying for this. She's the host and facilitator. I'm going to be so pissed at her for leaving. And I don't know why I was so worried about that. But
No
when
one
I
would
told
feel that.
them,
Yeah.
you guys, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I've never done this before. Every single one of them was like, well deserved. Do it. Go take your
Yeah.
time. We're going to be here when you get back. We've got this. They're active in Slack. They don't need me. So it
Yeah.
that in itself felt so relieving, almost to the point of wanting to cry. Like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
thank you guys for understanding, But it's like really not that I was making it way more of a big deal than it was in my head.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
silly.
That's great. Yeah. But yeah, the things that we worry about that,
I know.
we don't need to, but like you get in
Yeah.
your head about something and yeah. And especially the, am I letting somebody down? That's a
Yeah.
big one that I think particularly women hold
Totally
that
agree.
when we don't need to in
Yes.
many cases.
Were there any times during your vacation when you were tempted to, I don't know, work or go into email or dip in a way you said you wouldn't?
No. No.
Good. Oh, I
I
love
know.
that. I love that.
No, I was, one thing that I did, which technically was work. So at the very start, I took most of 2 weeks off, but that first week, that was sort of my like early entry. And the work that I did was filming some videos, filming some reels for Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And I haven't done that very much. And it's something that I've been wanting to do more of. And I actually think it's fun because
Yeah.
it's different and um, I don't know, it's entertaining. And I'm just like making a recipe without like worrying about photographing every step. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I was sort of excited about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this at the beginning of my vacation, which is, I mean, it's definitely work, but it's like the fun work and something that I was
Right.
excited about doing. And so I did do that at the beginning of vacation before I kind of turned everything off. And that felt great because it was like I was working, but I was doing something fun and I wasn't um giving myself the time pressure of, oh, when I'm done this, I've got to get back and finish my newsletter. And then I've got to, make sure I'm checking my email. It was like, I'm just doing these things. All I'm going to do is shoot these recipes and that's it. And when I'm done, I'm on vacation. And so that was actually really, really nice. It was like a fun way to incorporate work on the
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, after that, when I was done with those, I was like, okay, that's it. I've done it and I'm not going to think about anything else. And I really didn't.
That's so great. So,
Yeah.
two things that you said. Yes, it's okay to work if it's aligned, if it
Right.
feels good. And two, follow through with what you decide. So, if you decide beforehand, this is what I'm doing, here's my plan, then stick with it. And you'll be so happy when you get back and you're like, I did it. I actually did
Yeah.
what I said I was going to do, because so many times in my past, I haven't done that. I'm like, I'm not going to dip into email, but I did. It was hard. I had a few moments the first few days where I was like, I could just check email. And then there was this little issue that came up with Instagram and scheduling, getting posts scheduled.
Mm.
And I was tempted to just say, you know what, I'll do it myself. And I talked to my husband, and Dan was like, why don't you just try not doing that? Could you try just saying, you know what, it's going to get figured out. And if it doesn't, that's okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And I did. And everything got figured out. And I didn't need to just do it myself. So that was kind of like a good lesson in trusting my team, but also me. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
just gave me confidence. after the vacation to not, not have to have my hands in everything and to
Yeah.
trust the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like sometimes we get worked up about, something is not working, and oftentimes it just resolves itself.
I
And so you can
know.
like spend a lot of mental energy trying to like, oh my God, like this thing is
Yeah,
down or this thing is, not
I
working
know.
right. And then it's like, oh, it's fine. Like something,
I know.
it just
Just
resolved
relax a little bit,
itself.
I think is
Yeah.
my message to
It's
myself a lot.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
relax.
It's okay.
So you're able to
Yeah.
kick your feet up. I love it and just enjoy your amazing vacation. When it started getting close to you getting out of vacation and going back into your reentry, were you starting to feel nervous or were you okay?
I I think I was mostly okay. I felt really good that I had built in a buffer week. And I knew I had done some things for that week already. Like my social media was done. Um, I also gave myself permission to not do a blog post for a week and like get off my
Good.
weekly
Yeah.
schedule, which was fine. I gave myself a week off from my newsletter,
Good.
which is great. So, and I just say in the newsletter, like, hey, I'm taking a week off. I'll see you in, 2
Yeah.
weeks. And
Nothing
it's
falls
fine.
apart,
Nothing.
right?
Yeah, no problem. So, so I had done, so I had prepped for that reentry week, and I had like done some things and decided I wasn't going to do some things. And so I wasn't feeling that like Sunday scaries dread of like, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's coming. Like, I'm going to be back at work. I was kind of feeling like, oh, this is, it's going to be good. Like, I'm not actually going to have to do that much work when I get back. And that's great. So I wasn't feeling that kind of stress of like, you got to get all these things done the minute you get back
Yeah.
to work, which is, I think that's what set me into a poor mindset after my June vacation is like I just hadn't thought about that week at all, and I was just trying to run back in, and um yeah, it didn't work
It's
well.
not good.
No.
When you don't think, yeah, a little forethought about the week after is so valuable. And that's probably the key piece here is just taking care of yourself and your business that week after. I love that you allowed yourself to not do a newsletter and not do a blog post. That's kind of been the theme of my summer is like,
Yeah.
if it doesn't feel aligned, I'm not going to do it. I am all in the fall when my boys are
Right.
back in school. I'm
Hmm.
ready to work. But for now, I'm giving myself permission to say no because the world is not going to explode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not.
it's
And
not. It
we
really won't.
think, like, we tell ourselves, oh, I do a blog. I mean, I'm not the most prolific blog post writer, but I try for one a week, like four a month is sort of my general. And so I have that in my head, like, oh, I do four blog posts a month. But I started looking back because I have all my posts organized by month on my month and year on my system. And I started looking back to see, and I'm like, looking at like 2 years ago, like, oh, there's months where I did two posts, there's months where I did three, there's months where I did one. Like, even though I have this in my head,
Yeah,
I do one a week. I don't. I
right.
haven't really, and nothing fell apart. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
still, the blog is still doing just fine. And, those were times where I had stuff going on in my life that I wanted to do
yeah,
other things, and that's fine.
yeah,
So, yeah, giving yourself the permission of like whatever story you've told yourself about how
right.
frequently you post or what you do, like that, it might not even be accurate if you
Yeah.
really check yourself. So, yeah.
And something that came up as you were talking is I think we tend to put our blogs aside for short periods when bad things happen in our lives,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we can do that when good things happen too. And that's kind of been the theme of my summers. It was epic. We took so many amazing trips and we just spent so much time together. So, yeah, it's okay to not work because of good things too.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's such a good point because yes, a lot of those months where I didn't get everything done was because there was something bad
Chaos, right?
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, why? And everything was fine in the end that I only
Yeah.
did, one post that month. So
Right.
why not do it for a good reason? Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
It's,
talk about your post vacation week. It was kind of a reentry. You allowed yourself a lot of grace, it sounds like.
yeah.
Was
And I
was it
also did,
stressful?
no, it was not stressful. The other thing I did was the whole thing was a buffer week, but I gave myself a personal buffer day. So
Mm,
we got home, and then the next day I said, you know what, I'm still not doing any work, but I'm going to do all the like personal things, like the laundry and the unpacking and, the grocery list, or if I had done the grocery list, then the grocery shopping, those kind of things, get myself settled. What are the meals I'm going to make for this week? Because that wonderful advice that I came up with earlier was one I got after I did the vacation. I was like,
oh,
that would have
yeah.
been awesome. But so those kind of like life things, I was like, I'm going to just reserve a whole day for that. And that was really good because I find that when you're trying to do all of the just you got to restock the refrigerator, you got to,
Uh-huh.
do all those things after a vacation. And we had been gone for, I wasn't on vacation the whole time, but we had been gone for almost 3 weeks. So, there were like my plants were dead. Like,
Yeah. Oh.
there were like things that I had to do around the house. And it was nice to not feel like I was trying to fit that in while checking my email from
Right.
3 weeks and
Yes.
getting stressed about that. So buffer personal day. And then when I started the next day to get back to like my work schedule, I was so much calmer because I was like, oh, okay,
Mm,
the house stuff is fine. The kids are fine. The personal life is organized and managed. So now I have time to really think about this. Um, and so it was better. And I just had my list of like, these are the 5 things that you have to get done this week. And that, as a reentry point, was so much less stressful than opening my ClickUp and seeing all the like red dates
yes.
and all of the things that I normally do in a given week. So I did pretty well with it. Like I was really, mindset wise, I felt pretty good. So
That's
that
so
was
great.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
We're tweaking always, right? I'm sure next time we
Yeah.
both go on vacation, we'll even have things to tweak even more. So the following week, when you were kind of back at it, how did that feel?
Yeah, I felt pretty good by then because I had done what I needed to
Good.
do. And I was kind of ready to like get back into it. Um, the other thing that I found in the when I was doing that research of how to handle when you come back from vacation,
Yeah.
one of the things that they said, which I realized I kind of did without knowing this was like actual good advice, is um, when you're trying to do that reentry, focus on the things that are easy and that you don't hate doing.
Ah, yeah.
And so, because I feel like sometimes when we go back to work, we think like, okay, I need to get all these things done. And so I'm just going to like, let's tackle the hardest stuff first. And then I'll give myself a break later. I got to get these things done. And sometimes that can kind of backfire because you just can't do that. And you're kind of in this state of, being bummed out that you're not on vacation and that,
Yeah.
you're home again and you've got all this work to do. And motivation can be a real challenge. And so there's something about just doing something that gets your motivation going again, just gets you some momentum. I'm just going
Yes.
to do, you just start with some little things. I'll get these small tasks done. I'm going to be able to check them off my list. There are things that I don't hate doing. And so then you're kind of like, oh, yeah, like I like this part of my job and I'm doing things and I'm getting stuff done. And as that momentum grows, then you feel like, oh yeah, I can tackle the bigger stuff. And I thought that was a really
Hmm.
interesting way to look at it, because it's not typically how I look at things. So I always want to like save the easy stuff for last, because
Yeah.
I feel like I've got to tackle that big stuff first. Like these are the things I really need to do. But if you if you can't do them in that moment, starting with the easy things actually does help just get you into like, I'm doing things and I'm feeling good about the fact that I'm getting them done, and that just helps your mindset so much.
And it makes sense. Like, you wouldn't come back the next day after vacation and start renovating your bathroom, right? You would come back
Right.
and you would water your plants and you
Yeah.
would buy groceries and lightly clean out your fridge. So, of course, you wouldn't come back and start a book proposal or whatever.
Right.
Like, come back
Yeah.
with the easy stuff. That, of course, that makes sense. But we do tend to be so
Yeah.
hard on ourselves. Like, why can't I get back and just do the big projects?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's silly. It is a learning process, and I've taken a lot of vacations over the years, and I literally every time I come back with something that I learn to do differently next time. So
Yeah.
just take
It's
notes
a
and then
work in
implement it.
progress.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a work in progress.
Yeah.
There are a couple projects that I passed off to my assistant before our June vacation that I was thinking maybe I would take back when I got back, and she's just kept on doing them. So that's been a nice surprise for me.
Yeah.
Have there been any surprises for you post vacation, like maybe clarity on projects or anything like that?
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that, except for that, um, the thing with doing my Instagram reels when I was at the
Yeah.
beginning of my vacation, I really, because I really enjoyed doing that, and I didn't think that it was going to be as enjoyable for me as it was. And I think it was because I had not that I wasn't trying to fit it in among all of the other things that I normally do. And so I feel like that was like, oh, actually, I enjoy this. Like this is fun. It's just
Yeah.
that it was sort of stressing me out trying to do it while I was, doing my regular posts and my photography and all those things. And so um, I'm back at my beach house now. And I'm working, and one of the things I'm doing is I'm shooting new reels, because it's like, you know what? This actually that really worked for me, and I feel like it's something I can take with me, that maybe it doesn't have to be a vacation to do that. I can just say like, okay, this is a day where I'm going to work on that content, and that's all I'm going to work on, and do that going forward. And so that was really nice. That just gave me like a different perspective on something that I was sort of like not excited about, to realize like it's not the thing itself that was making
Yeah.
me not excited. It was trying to do that thing with all of the
Right.
other things wrapped around it.
It's
So,
everything around
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely clarity and
Yeah.
just proof that if you give yourself a little bit of space, you can actually tap into some of those things that matter and that light you up again.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you did take that away and you seem refreshed and glad you took the vacation. We
Yeah.
both collectively learned so much, and I think this is all going to be valuable for others because vacation is necessary.
Yeah.
Don't not do the vacation because you're stressed about the after, because there's a way to figure it out.
Yeah. You know what? I have one more thing. I know
Yeah.
we've been talking a while, but one more thing that I got out of my research that I thought was
Yeah.
so good, um, was it was talking about that feeling that you get when you're when you're at the end of your vacation and you're like, oh, like this is so
Yes.
nice. Like I
Yes.
love this world, and I'm just gonna go home, and it's gonna be like the same old grind, and you know, and that's a hard thing. I mean, we all have that. Like if you're on
Yeah.
some fantastic vacation, going home is not great. But the advice that I had read was um, to think about your values, and when you're on vacation, there may be things about your values on oh, sorry, that's my dog
Oh,
in the
that's
background.
okay. Hey,
So when you're on
puppy.
vacation, you
Oh,
think about
cute.
the values you have in like your regular life, like spending time with family, or um, volunteer work, or being with your kids, or being with your friends, being intentional as of your friendships, like whatever those sort of big life values are. A lot of those you can't actually do on vacation. So, you may be having like a fantastic, beach holiday, but it may not be, if your whole life was that, you would probably not be living some of the values that are really, really important to you. So, thinking about that as a way to like get excited about your regular life, as a way to think like, oh, but I have a dinner with friends coming up, or I'm going to, I'm going to do my volunteer, like I volunteer at a food pantry,
Yeah.
and I like do serve breakfasts there. Like I'm gonna put one of those on the schedule for when I get back. And so like trying to have things that are in your near future after the vacation that are aligned with your personal values can be a
Hmm.
way to feel less um, bummed out that you're not sitting on that beach every day. Because if you were
Yeah.
there every day, like it really, that wouldn't be fulfilling to you.
It wouldn't.
So, remember like the nice things about your house, like
Mm.
my pillow. I'm obsessed with my pillow. I have the best pillow. And when I'm on vacation, I don't have my pillow. And like,
Yes. Oh, that's
like
so
little
funny.
things, or I have my like tea heater, my like little mug
Oh,
that keeps my
yeah.
tea hot,
Mm.
and I don't have that when I'm on vacation, and it makes me sad. So like there's little like comforts of home that that like you love. And so when you're having that moment on vacation of like I don't want to go back, try to think about the things that like you don't have on vacation and that you have them at home and you love them. And as much as it's hard to make that reentry, there are things that you will get back to and be like, oh, thank God I've got my pillow again.
I love it.
It
Those
just
simple
make you feel
pleasures, a
better.
pillow can
Yeah.
mean so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that because I do the same thing, Molly. I love my house. I love it. It's like
Yeah.
it makes me so happy, and it's not an extravagant house by any means. It's just us, and it's filled with all these little things that we love. We have a hot tub and we use it. I love it so much.
Mm.
Use it all the time, and my plants make me happy, and my bed, I love my bed
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much,
Right. I
and
love my bed
my
too.
shower, just
Uh huh.
I do the same thing. I get myself pumped up like, okay, yes, it's so sad to be leaving vacation, but I'm going to be so happy when I sleep in my bed. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. And I love that you mentioned the dinner with friends. I think that's a really great idea that I've not done before. But what if we, in our pre planning mode, what if we just sat down and scheduled like two fun, low key things for after? Like
Yeah.
dinner with sisters out would be really nice, happy hour
Mm-hmm.
with friends, whatever, so that
Yeah.
you have that to kind of
Yeah.
ease back
Something.
into,
Yeah. To
yeah,
look forward to.
yeah.
Yeah. Or a massage.
Or
Book a
my
massage
husband and
when
I
you come
do
back.
that. We
Do
actually
you?
do.
Oh, nice.
Um, so after Flavor Media this year, I knew that I was going to need, I took a lot of time off after that, understandably,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was like, I know within the first few days we get back, a massage would feel so good. So we scheduled that, and we've kind of kept that up. We, yeah, we just go get massages after
Yeah.
something like that we know we need some downtime and some comfort, some self love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I
You
think
got to
we've
give
come up with
yourself
a
something.
pretty amazing plan. I mean, there's
Yes.
nothing else I don't feel like we could say that could be. This was so awesome. I'm so glad we did this. I think this will be valuable for so many people.
Yeah, I hope we inspire people to take that vacation.
Yes. Yep. It's
Take some time
possible to
off.
not be frazzled when you get back.
Yeah, and be even better when you get back. Like,
Right.
I felt so much more. I mean, I felt more productive than I did before I took the vacation when I came back, even with a
Yeah.
week of like doing, kind of half work, for lack of a better
Yeah.
term. And after that, I just feel like, yeah, it's been great.
So many good things came out of our vacation this year. Like I've mentioned, like passing things off, new inbox clarity, but also a project that I didn't know I was going to do came to me while creating space on vacation.
Yeah.
And I I mean, you never know what can come from
Yeah.
taking that time off, so
I'm
do
so
it.
excited for you, Megan.
Aw,
I'm
well,
excited
thanks.
about your book. Yeah, it's going to be
Yay.
great. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you, Molly. This was so great and just nice to chat with you. So it was
Yeah.
fun this
Yes.
morning.
Yes. Me
As
too.
you know, I like to ask my guests if they want to end with either a favorite quote or words of inspiration. You've already given us so much inspiration, but do you have anything additionally?
Um, yes, I do. So I don't know that I don't think it's actually a quote, but maybe, I'm not even sure it's inspiration, but I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give
Okay,
you
let's
this.
hear it.
It is the sort of mindset of what is the next right step. So when I think about this, the concept is about not trying to like plan your whole life out in advance, not trying to make like huge big decisions that put a lot of pressure on you when you get into kind of like a analysis paralysis mode of like I don't know what to do next, or I don't know what I'm going to be, or what do I want this blog to end up as, where's my future going. We can spend a lot of time just thinking and thinking and thinking and never making any progress. And the value of what is the next right step is just, I'm going to just do one thing that feels right to me, that moves
Mm,
forward in some direction. And, the value is that you just get moving. And the other value is that you find out what does and doesn't work. And so, you could try something and be like, oh, no, that was, that was not
yeah.
what I want to do or where I want to go or whatever. But then you just adjust and you take a different next right step. And I just really love that mindset. And, I have girls, my girls and your boys are about the same age, kids who are thinking about college, who are thinking about, what comes next in their life. And I feel like there can be all this pressure about like making a decision that's going to change the rest of your life.
Everything, yeah.
And, that like it's so much pressure. And what I've tried to tell my girls is like, just do what feels right for you right now, and it's a step forward. And if it's not right, you'll feel it and you'll realize that, and then you choose something else, and that's
Yeah,
okay. That's how life goes. And
yeah.
not getting yourself in this state of like, I don't know what to do because there's so many choices, and what if I make the wrong one? Or, what if I've like set my goals on this college and I don't get in there and my whole life is ruined? Those kind of things, it's just not true. They're not true,
Yeah.
but they're stories that we tell us about like, you have got to get this right. And so thinking about it more about like just what feels good to you now for the next step, and you'll make decisions from there. And that's the best way to kind of actually get to where you're going in the end. It's just keep doing what works, and if it doesn't work, then you pivot and you do something
Pivot.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much power in that. I think just one thing, one little thing can lead you to your next step and then the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah, you don't have to have that big picture in mind all the time. So thanks for that reminder. I
Yeah.
love that.
Sure.
We will put together a show notes page for you, Molly. We have one from, I just looked your, I'm going to pull it up here again. Your last interview was quite a while ago. Do you remember when that was? Let's see.
I think it was the end of 2021 or the beginning of
Oh
2022.
gosh, so it's been a while since we've
Yeah.
chatted. It was 2022, July 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, okay.
that was episode 321. This one is, we're going to put together a new show notes for you at eatblogtalk.com/vanilla bean cuisine 2. So go check those out and you'll have your complete roadmap for taking vacations without stressing out. Can't wait for you. Molly, tell everyone where they can find you if they want to connect.
Yes, I am Vanilla Bean Cuisine on the web, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. I think I'm VB Cuisine for whatever reason. I couldn't get the one I wanted. But yeah, you can. I'm sort of everywhere, so you can find me any of those places.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much. Such a lovely chat.
Yes,
And
great
thanks for
chatting with
listening,
you.
food bloggers. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Eat Blog Talk. If you are craving learning, connection, and increased productivity at a low monthly cost, join the Eat Blog Talk Inner Circle. Go to eatblogtalk.com/focus to join. I will see you in the next episode.